Epic Games had such an amazing opportunity with the Epic Games Store. Steam had given them an amazing template for a PC gaming storefront, and Fortnite had given them basically an unlimited supply of money in the late 2010s, so who better than Epic to stir up some proper competition? But since its launch, the Epic Games Store has just continued to annoy PC gamers worldwide, and that annoyance got a pretty amazing payoff the other day, and I couldn't help but talk about this, because like most stupid things in the gaming industry, it didn't take long for the Epic fanboys, who do exist apparently, to start jumping in and trying to defend their favorite wannabe mega corporation. So this latest instance of Epic Games completely humiliating themselves started when Epic thought it would be a phenomenal idea to sue Google over App Store fees, similar to the case they've been trying to raise against Apple for as long as I can remember, and despite the fact that they literally do the same thing as Google and Apple's app stores through the Epic Games Store, but anyways, we're not supposed to talk about that. As was reported by numerous outlets, Epic admitted in court recently that the Epic Games Store is still failing to turn a profit, and their strategy to use exclusive games and free games to draw PC gamers to their platform has not panned out the way they hoped. And I really don't know what they were thinking with this strategy. Every PC gamer in the universe can tell you the issues with the Epic Games launcher. It's buggy, it's incredibly poorly optimized, the games are often overpriced, the UI is horrendous, the sales are less frequent than the competition, social features are much more limited than the competition, the user review system is a complete fucking joke. Like, did you know that in order to leave a review on the Epic Games Store, you have to be randomly selected by the system after a certain number of hours of playtime? Meaning the only people leaving reviews on the Epic Games Store are people who weren't going to be critical anyways, which is how when Last of Us Part 1 and Jedi Survivor were borderline unplayable on PC, they still had like a 4 out of 5 on the Epic Store, because the only people giving reviews were the people who were already dedicated to playing through the shittiness. So of course the shittiness wasn't going to be documented in the reviews, you know? The user review system on EGS is literally designed to inflate the score of every game, and hopefully make people more likely to buy a game that they otherwise wouldn't have. It's so fucking shady. But long story short, the Epic Games Store is a shit product that Epic could turn around in an afternoon if they just looked over at Steam and copied what Valve was doing. Or if they took a fraction of the money that they're using to buy exclusives and used that money on a small group of developers to take feedback of PC gamers into account and make some very simple changes. But it's almost 2024 and Epic Games can't be fucked to do any of that, which is why they still have not turned a profit on this fucking thing, and they are reportedly losing hundreds of millions of dollars a year on it, which is probably a major contributing factor to them cutting 16% of their workforce a couple months ago, which is over 800 people. I'm being genuine when I say Tim Sweeney is the worst CEO in the tech industry. I have never seen someone so absolutely committed to destroying his own company and ruining the livelihood of the people relying on him to just do his fucking job. And it amazes me that there are people who still have some weird kind of faith in this company. Like, they genuinely are rooting for them based on nothing. Epic Games has spent the last 5 years genuinely trying to monopolize PC gaming and burning an ungodly amount of money and taxpayer dollars raising bogus lawsuits against other major tech companies, basically just to grandstand about how cool they are and to allow Tim Sweeney to be all, "How do you do, fellow kids? I also hate mega corporations," while he's literally attempting to be a mega corporation. And no amount of Epic Game Store exclusives or free games can get this ship back on track without actually fundamentally changing how the EGS looks and functions, which is never going to happen because that would require the most self-obsessed CEO in the universe to admit he was wrong about something. The layoffs at Epic Games are a direct result of the worst fucking management in gaming history, and yet there are still people defending them. And when this report came out that the Epic Games Store is still not profitable, there were still people coming out to defend it. And I'm gonna make fun of you, because you look like a bunch of goofballs. At HateYoi says, Steam fanatics activated. Steam is not that good, and this such attitude create a monopolist and greedy one. That's why some of the developers don't want to publish their game on Steam first. So, liking Steam and being, relatively happy about the fact that the Epic Games Store, which is again a shit product, the fact that it's losing money and not taking more of the market share than it's like deserving of, PC gamers being happy about that attitude creates monopolies in your brain. Not the fact that the Epic Game Store is literally trying to just buy their way to the top and buy games and buy exclusives to make sure they don't have to actually listen to consumer feedback and make their product better and try to get people to come to their storefront organically. In your brain, that is not attempting to create a monopoly, but simply existing in the same sphere as the Epic Game Store while the Epic Game Store is being a shit product that nobody wants. That is creating a monopoly to you. Genuinely, how do you come to these conclusions? Like, truly. Genuinely, truly, how did you get here? Schrodinger's Game Cat says, never understood the hate. I like Epic and Steam pretty much the same. EGS more because free quality games weekly. You guys complain about EGS not having features and exclusivity, but Xbox PC app does the same. And worse, they charge you $15 a month for games EGS gives you for free. Okay, first of all, the Xbox PC app doesn't charge you $15 a month. Game Pass does. The Xbox PC app is free though. You don't have to pay for anything. But also you're comparing a $15 a month subscription service, because you're clearly talking about Game Pass here. You're comparing Game Pass to Epic Game Store and being like, ugh, why aren't people complaining? Because one of these things, the Epic Game Store, has shit features, shit pricing, shit optimization, and basically no reason to exist, while Game Pass charges you $15 a month with decent social features, decent optimization recently, and a whole laundry list of games that you can just download and play, as opposed to Epic, who will sometimes give you free access to a game for a month, and if you don't click the button during that month, then just fuck you can't have it for free. This is such a bad comparison. This doesn't even make sense. Like, why are you reaching this hard? At Vito says, good for them for trying to create competition in the marketplace. It's wild that gamers are too stupid to understand the value competition creates for the consumer. When in doubt, call gamers stupid. Also, the ultimate irony of you saying that gamers are stupid for not valuing competition when you're going up to bat for Epic Games, a company that absolutely refuses to properly compete. All of the issues with the Epic Game Store would be completely resolved if Epic decided to actually compete. Epic Game Store and Steam are arguably not even competing at this point because they are offering two completely different things. But Steam is offering something that people actually want. Epic is not. That's why they're losing money. Epic could look at Steam and actually treat it as a competitor, which would mean them, taking notes on what Steam's doing right, what people like about Steam, what Steam has done to get people to organically come to their storefront over others. But instead, they're just throwing money at the problem and hoping it goes away. That's not competition. How are you possibly calling gamers stupid when you don't understand this? Michael Auditore says, why it's everyone so happy defending and Steam monopoly. Steam is not a monopoly, they're just a better product. That's it. All of the things that make Steam more successful than the competition are things that the competition could have instantly if they chose to implement them. They are choosing not to. That is not a monopoly. That is other products being stubborn and shit. Jarlant responds, do you know what a monopoly is? Michael says, according to USA, owning over 50% of an industry, pretty sure Steam have over 60% of all sales on PC. Jarlant says, where are you getting that definition? Michael says, where do you think? Fucking got him. When in doubt, refuse to answer the question that was only raised because you're being a dumbass. At Omifi says, we already know this. They said it will be profitable by 2027. Yeah, just because they said it'll be profitable by 2027 doesn't mean it's not a fucking embarrassment that it's not profitable now. At this point, I don't even know if it will be profitable by 2027, but if it does take them until 2027 to become profitable, does that really make it better? Kyle Ogle says, what's the biggest issue? Epic downloads at 3 to 4 times faster than Steam. Bro, you are fucking insane. I get free games often, and the games cost the same as Steam. Steam has more games on sale at a much more frequent pace, usually less with their rolling discounts occasionally. Am I missing something, or is it just cool to hate Epic? It's cool to hate Epic because Epic continues to make themselves a punching bag, but that's besides the point. You are missing a lot of things. If you are defending the Epic Game Store still, you are missing everything. At The Guardian Mew says toppling a monopoly isn't that easy, and they aren't putting efforts into the right places. You're right, toppling a monopoly isn't that easy. That's not even what Epic is up against right now, you fucking doofus. I can't get over this. Like, Steam is not a monopoly. It doesn't matter how loud you say it. It doesn't matter how many times Tim Sweeney tries to convince you that Steam is a monopoly. It's just not. Quite literally, it is not. Again, all of the things making Steam more popular than other PC storefronts, all of the things that people like about Steam are things that the other storefronts could implement tomorrow. They are choosing not to. That is not a monopoly. That is Epic being terrible at their job. Rafael Galindo says, I prefer Steam, but why do I get the feeling Epic is being trash-talked because they give games for free? IGN seems to hate these things. Yes, because IGN are the only people criticizing the Epic Game Store, and the only reason they have for criticizing it is because Epic gives away free games sometimes. You have such a clear understanding and grasp of the situation. 27 Shinshi says, I hope the Epic games will grow stronger and generate big profits. Okay, Tim. All right. Yeah, I'm going to call this one here. I'm getting a headache. I'm getting a headache with this one. The Epic Game Store is one of the biggest fucking failures I've ever seen. They said it'd be profitable in 2027. If it was a good product, it'd be profitable now. Like, it's that simple. If it was a good product, it would be profitable now. And it's not. It's not even close. I am calling it right now. Fortnite will go to Steam before the Epic Game Store becomes profitable. Because at this point, that game is the only thing keeping it afloat. And that money can't last forever, especially since that money has been slowing down a bit. Granted, the Fortnite fucking OG patch seemed to get things back on track a bit. But how long is that gonna last, you know? The Epic Game Store has basically just been surviving off of Fortnite money, and Fortnite money is not going to last forever. So I say it again. Actually, let me adjust my prediction here. One of these things is going to happen before the Epic Game Store becomes profitable. Either Fortnite's going to Steam or Tim Sweeney is going to step down / be ousted. One of those two things is going to happen before the Epic Game Store is profitable. Mark my fucking words. And if you still think Steam is a monopoly, then just sign off. Get off social media, get off the internet. You're not old enough. Toodles.